West Coast Avengers. West Coast Avengers.
There's only one mantra that you all need to know. That's that one over there. See Todd, bye Todd.
Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Dave, for this episode of West Coast Wednesday. Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday. Hey, bub. All right. You know what? Before we get the show started, before I say hello to everybody, I want to bring out my esteemed guest. This man taught me everything I know about selling comics. But seriously, he really was my Yoda. And I'm not talking about a puppet. I'm talking about the real man himself, Matty Marlin from Matty's Comics. Oh, hello, Matty.
Hello, David.
How's oh shit, I forgot a ginger beer. All I have is water tonight.
Oh, you're gonna make me drink alone.
Yeah, well, that's what friends do. They hang out with them while they drink. Hi, everybody, it's Matty. Matty's Comics. Matty.
Hey, guys.
Matty. Let's
Thanks
say
for
hello to
having
some
me, Dave.
friends. Of course. It's been a while.
It has.
Yeah, it's been like literally months since we've been on a stream together. So let's say hello to friends. We got Derek Neiman announcing the special guest for tonight, and it is Eddie Vedder. All right, are you ready? All right. Anyway, hi Tyler. Dominic Leon is in the house, or maybe it's Dominic. I never asked. Maybe it's Leon. We're gonna call you Leon. It sounds more international. Murray K. Morrison says, hello, Murray. We will get to this, but where authentic comic collectors authenticate, where do I sign? Will JSA corroborate my signature? Yes, they will. You heard it here first. JSA is in this stream right now, authenticating everything. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. Criterion Comics in the house. Joe is in the house. I can never be verified, contained, or, well, I definitely can be vilified. Johnny Garza in the house. What's up, Johnny? Wait for it. I said, fucking wait for it. There we go.
Can I do that too?
It might work. Let's see. No, it doesn't work for you. Hi, Johnny. Lamar's in the house. Adam Lott is in the house. And so is Leon. LOL. Love you lots. What up, Marsh? Marsh is it. Yes, welcome to the passing of CBCS. Rest in peace.
Dearly beloved, we gather here
We
tonight.
are. Maybe we should call Dr. Everything's Gonna Be All Right. Or Dr. Everything's Gonna Feel All Right. I forget what the lyric is. We're just gonna go crazy. Yeah, he's one to call Dr. Feel Good. Derek Strom in the house. Andrew P is in the house. My buddy, my homie. John wants to hear you sing Yellow Lead Better, not me, but he wants to hear you sing on a feeling, on a wizard, on a way. Yeah.
I'm not equipped for this. I need rehearsal.
And a call and a said and a one and a zero and a go loud again.
Bravo.
Weirdos. Yes, we are.
That. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Guilty as charged.
Dan Mills in the house. What's up? Oh, totally take
Dan.
that. I am a weirdo. Guilty is charged. Yes. Ooh, non-sexual Matthew.
What up, non-sexual?
RMS in the house. Ryan, what's up, my brother?
Ryan.
Will verify the Hobby Hero Award winner if he signs a Turok #1. Yes, 100%. I don't know. CGC better verify everything I send them because I am their fucking hobby hero.
That's right. VIP in the house, everybody.
That's right. Hi, Dakota. That was awesome. Well, thank you. I will vet her anytime. Spot on. Yes, freshly bald Dave with a balding Matty. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah,
What up,
I'm
Dirk?
not so fresh right now. I got the
No,
shadow.
you're not. You're a shadow of a former bald man.
I'm a shadow of my former self.
Oh, speaking. Okay, so before we get into tonight, Matty and me are going to tell you that on April 20th and 21st, you're going to want to be here. Yeah, that's right. The Avenger Con's in the house. I was going to do a Jamaican accent, but that's probably wrong. And I shouldn't do stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, the Avenger Con returns April 20th and 21st. And what is that? Well, that is 2 days of streaming, sales, and guests. There are going to be three guest sellers this Avenger Con. That is going to be Matty over here, Manu, the 9.9 newsstand, and Sean, Japan Book Hunter. Right now on the artist fronts, I have 2 confirmed guests. That's Jim Rugg, Jim Mahfood. Both of the Jims will be here for Avenger Con. Oh, there we go. What part of Jamaica you from? Down by the beach, boy. Now do some sunny day real estate. No, I can't sing in circles. The Bald Brothers.
Ooh, I can do that one.
Oh, you can? You can do some sunny day?
Sure.
All right. Take it away.
Right now?
I don't know.
I go in circles while running down.
There we go. There we go. Flashing MCU gang signs. That's right. I'm part of the West Coast Avengers. Now that we have been targeted by the Bloods and the Crips, it's time to leave. 2 gyms at AvengerCon. This is correct, Mattis. How are you, Matty?
I'm well. I'm getting my butt kicked by parenting, as always. Got some virus going around the family, the kids not sleeping, all that stuff. But, other than that, I'm pretty good.
All right. Well, that's good. We're going to talk about something in just a sec, but John, stop lighting fires in my neighborhood. John, you don't understand. I think you missed the boat on the fact that Sunny Day Real Estate is once again a popular band because everybody that remembers them when they were younger is remembering them again.
Yeah, there is sort of a resurgent wave for a lot of those types of bands.
Yeah, early emo. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yep. Do you know who the original bass? Do you know who the bassist is of Sunny Day Real Estate and what other band he's known for?
Mm-mm.
I'll give you a hint. His name's Nate Mendel, and he plays bass for the Foo Fighters. Oh wait,
really?
Yeah, Nate Mendel.
Oh,
that's
cool.
Right. That is right.
Like original band member, or like he joined?
No, he's OG. Yeah, Nate Mendel is original OG. No,
From
wrong.
that fact alone, Sunny Day has a lot of like light thrown on it from that fact alone, I'm sure.
And you know where they're from, right?
No, I was never aware.
Seattle.
Oh.
I'm teaching you things tonight, Matty. But you're going to teach us.
I would get a CD or whatever in high school, and I was never like curious, like, where is this band from? Where how would I see them live? I just never I didn't have the internet. How did you do all that stuff back then? I don't know.
I don't know. That's right. What's his name? The first drummer. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But yes, he was the original drummer for the Foo Fighters. And then Dave Grohl's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why would I have a drummer? And then he found Taylor Hawkins, obviously. Derek wants to talk about Brand New from Long Island, one of my favorite bands of all time. We'll have that discussion some other times.
I don't have anything to contribute on those guys.
But before we do, we're going to talk about Matty and his business. Matty's got a new business or a new arm to Matty. Why don't you explain while I pop your website up here?
Oh, thank you. I thought you were going to pop something else. I have a new website called mattyscomics.com. Hey, there it is. That's me. That's me like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Back when, Clone Wars limited variants grew on trees or in the soil of the fertile lands of New Jersey. I have a new website. It's, I have a lot of I have a new distribution account with like Diamond and Penguin and stuff. So I figured I should get a website going so I could kind of just work my magic with that a little more efficiently and effectively and sort of let people pre-order comics through me and sort of like work it into what I'm already doing. So like if you like new comics, if you want discounted new comics and you buy from me anyway, then you can go to the website and kind of clickety clack, and then I can combine all that stuff with your regular Instagram orders. So that's kind of
There
the
you go.
concept of the website.
And for those of you that are like, well, how do I find mattyscomics.com? You go to mattyscomics.com or you click the link in the description below. Yeah. So
Either way works.
lots to explore on the website,
Yeah.
Farm to Table Comics. By the way, when I do this, what movie am I imitating?
Cable Guy.
Close. You were so close. You were so close.
Is it Jim Carrey?
Yes, it is.
What is it then? Oh, is it like Liar Liar or like
No, you're almost there. Next
Me,
year, the
Myself, and
next movie.
Irene?
No, after that. There we go. Derpa got it. It's Bruce Almighty, because there's like an angle where he's typing all the emails and it's from this point of view and it looks hilarious.
Right. I've seen that like memed recently, but I just didn't know exactly which movie it came from. Apparently,
You were close.
Everybody,
a lot of people got it, and John's just striking out tonight, but we'll get you on. We'll get you on.
Way off. I was closer than you, John. Get out of here.
Slappy. So what's the Slappy something?
Is it her?
So yes, Matty's Comics. Oh, that's right. It was filmed in Buffalo. That's right. And he was answering all the prayers. So Matty's Comics, links down below. You can check out his website. We won't go too deep into it, only because if you click certain buttons on here, it just goes to Lemon Party, and nobody needs to be seeing that on
But
live
I will
stream
say I'm currently uploading like this week's new comics. So if you missed anything this week, you can get them there. And I'm about to put all the ratios that I got from this week up on the site after this very interview.
All right.
I'm not being interviewed. We're hanging out as contemporary compadres. But yeah, after I get off of this, I'm going to put up the ratios of the week so you can, have first dibs on that if you want. Also, use Matty. What is it? Matty 10. Matty's 10? I think it's Matty's 10 as a code to take 10% off everything.
There we go. 10% off either Matty 10 or Matty's 10. I do want to point out, Brian mentioned the Bruce Almighty scene with Steve Carell, which is literally our like mainstream introduction to Steve Carell, where he's like, I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl, like he's doing Jim Carrey's controlling him. So it's basically Steve Carell doing an impression of Jim Carrey.
That's his first like entree into.
Well, he was
movies.
on the Daily Show, but I think that's his first like substantial movie part. And then like as soon as that comes out, I remember watching that in the theater and just like holding pee in from laughing so hard. and then after that, we got him in Anchorman doing I love lamp, and are you just looking at stuff and saying you love and all that greatness that
is the
came
craziest
after that.
Character.
Yeah,
it's like straight up brain damaged.
My tiny nipples went to France. Are there any are they free range keys or commercial slaughterhouse?
Ooh, little column A, little column B.
There we go. I like to do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. He went he was part of Second City and he was part of the Daily Show. But like the Daily Show, he was lost. He wasn't lost, but he was one of the few characters on there. You had Colbert on there. When he was in Bruce Almighty, it was like, I was like, this is the funniest fucking thing.
He must have gotten the 40-year-old virgin shortly after that.
Right? Yeah, after Anchorman, I think that's when he got the 40-year-old virgin. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, right in the face. And you could also boop it, like it's a dog nose. He said,
just don't smash it. Smashing is very, rude.
Yeah, because you could break things. You probably should lay low for a while. That's right. I think. He was I didn't realize that he was on the Dana Carvey show with Colbert. By the way, I'm going to be giving away a X-Men 200 tonight, and also X-Men 246 Silvestri Master Mold cover.
So cool.
So we won't we won't go into spoilers on the X-Men animated series, but
But I want to.
I know, but not everybody watched it. It came out today, but we can talk about how good it was
Yeah.
without spoiling it. There's going to be
Yes, we can.
there's going to be a very minor spoiler. I took a screenshot of one line of dialogue that Wolverine says in the second episode. It does not ruin anything. But be warned, there will be a screenshot of Wolverine's face with a line of dialogue. And then we'll talk about the whole CGC thing with the CBCS pretty much getting the the knife to the stomach there.
Shivved in the fucking shower.
Yeah, Shiv in the shower, no courtesy reach around and no protection.
Nope. Not a bit.
Well, I'm sorry, John. John is voicing his opinion on how much he hates the Magneto costume. John, you tell him. You tell him. I mean, Magneto hated that costume
Have
too.
you seen the episode though? Because he looks dope in the episode.
He does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I'm not tethered to loving the original just because everybody on the stream knows Dave hates cartoons. No, he doesn't. It's just no. Well, I said that I don't love them as much as I used to when I was a kid, except for the Batman animated series. Like the Batman animated series to me was the only one that really worked of the superhero cartoons that really works for kids and adults, hitting really hard for both of them. But as soon as I turned on those episodes this morning, the first episode, I was like, oh shit, I'm back, baby. I'm right there where I was in 1992.
Dude, it awakened something in me I wasn't expecting. Like I did not expect to have the feels that I did watching it. I literally got chills at multiple points of the first episode. I had a physical feeling of a chill. Like I don't know, that doesn't happen to me normally. Like watching anything, I don't know what it was, but something about it's not just the nostalgia factor, although it's just deeply embedded in my 13-year-old brain probably, but
it just feels good. It felt good to watch.
It feels really good, and it feels like these characters that you haven't seen come to life in this way in so long, and it just like the way it's handled is very just kind of ingenious. I think the way that they kind of walk a line between campiness and sincerity and childhood and adulthood, and it's it does a lot of things at the same time, I think.
And also like how they like the dialogue was great. And with that, before I even get to any of the comments, with that, I would like to present to you a slide, a picture of the greatest line of dialogue ever uttered in an X-Men cartoon. Just give me 1 sec to get this thing loaded up. And like I said, this isn't
today.
Yes, this is not a spoiler. I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler, but guys, this is it. Hold on, you ready? Here we go. I'll show you a C-section, bub. I mean, come on. It just won an Emmy.
Take up the Criterion comment.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'll show you a C-section, bub. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love that? Look at that. Anyway, I just needed to show that off because it made me laugh out loud. But no, in all honesty, we can talk about how, so, remember, everybody's pissed because the X-Men went woke. Well, you get your Wolverine making out with Cyclops love triangle. That actually didn't happen. But it was fantastic. The action was good. The action was great, I should say. Everything just, it was enjoyable. You know what? I'm going to say something controversial to some of you comic book readers out there. It was better than most X-Men comics. Pretty much all of them. It was.
I wouldn't know because I don't read enough X-Men comics, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just really well done.
It was really well done. But but your point about like the dialogue was great is true, but there's also kind of like I said, like a heightened cartoonishness to it. Like Cyclops' voice is very like or like sort of stereotypical hero. So
Mhm.
there's sort of a little bit of tongue in cheek to it, but there's also
Sure.
like these lines that hit like, damn, that was deep. Like it's really like expertly crafted in that way.
Yeah, and just the chemistry between the characters. I am not a Cyclops fan. After that, I'm a Cyclops fan.
Yeah, it was great
They portrayed
Cyclops.
Cyclops in probably the best light that anybody's portrayed him. Morph was hilarious. Oh, Lucas, I'm glad to hear it. I hope you enjoy all those books. Yeah, there's rumors of Spider-Man getting a reboot. I'm not so tethered to the Spider-Man cartoon, honestly, because
I never watched that.
I don't think I ever watched it that much because it came out as it was kind of like graduating high school or almost there. I want to say, maybe a
Probably
year
a little late
before.
for us, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it was like right. Growing up was He-Man, Transformers, GI Joe, Turtles, X-Men, Batman. Those were my cartoons growing up.
Pretty much exactly same for me. You're 1 year older than me, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. And but yeah, it was fantastic. Morph was hilarious. What up, Josh? They had over 25 years
Yeah,
to work on it. It should
oh
be
my
good.
god.
Well,
I wish
I
you
mean,
could say spoilers, but there's some really funny jokes with
yeah.
more for sure.
Technically they've been working on. They didn't have 25 years to work on it, but I get what you're saying, Jay. It makes sense. Animated Psych was terrible. New Psych is so much better. Yeah, see, I don't remember liking him in the original series, so that makes sense. No, you do not, Anthony. You don't
Definitely
have. You
not.
can jump if you have a base knowledge of what the X-Men are, which I know you do. Or if you have a deep knowledge of the X-Men, which I don't know if you do, but you might, and you probably do. You'll enjoy it. You don't have to know. All you need to know is the whole series happened and Professor X died. That's it. He
Yeah.
died in the first series, and that's all.
I don't
I
even
mean,
think you would necessarily need to know anything to enjoy
no,
this
because
show.
they tell you everything in the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
Magneto's older. I think that's what you're seeing, Amber. He looks haggard. The
I
Spider-Man
think he
cartoon
looks
from the 90s is better.
like an older, rugged Patrick Swayze. He looks great.
Yeah. Tyler? Batman is better. Batman is better at everything in comics. Where's Rachel? Swear to me. As a fan of the 90s X-Men books, I'm really excited the direction they're taking. Yeah. And like they updated it like dialogue wise to match today. Like Jubilee uses the word bestie, which was not used in the 90s, but they're trying to make it connect to not just us. They're trying to make it connect to kids
But
today.
at the same time, it's aware of being a period piece too, of being like situated in
Mhm.
97, right? Like the
Sure.
technology you see is like CRT, like not flat screen TVs and like, you know what I mean? Like it's a little dated and set in that
Mhm.
time, even though it knows that it sort of winks at us as a contemporary audience. It's really it's really bridging an interesting gap there.
It is because they have to make it connect to the 40 somethings. They have to make it to try and connect if you have kids today that want to watch it,
Yeah.
because otherwise, once again, we'll have to have the age old thing that nothing comics is made for kids, but they got to keep doing it. I want to say thank you, Kids Collecting with Brody. I appreciate it, and I will. And I want to give a shout out to Adrian, actual Dracula. Now, Friday, I'm going to be interviewing Chip Zdarsky for the channel, but then the next Friday, Adrian is doing it for his YouTube channel, Blood. God, is it Blood Ink? No, Blood Out, Blood In, Ink Out. God, I'm bad with it. Anyway, I'm supposed to leave some blood and some marrow for Chip, for him to suck dry. So I promised I would do it, but Adrian, put the name of your channel out down there because I'm confused. My theory about Cyclops is the older we get, the more we can relate to him, so he doesn't seem that makes a lot of sense. That really does. That actually really does. Tyler said Batman the Animated Series is comparable. I'll give yous that, but that Spider-Man shows. Well, and the thing is like you grew up with, like Spider-Man's your thing, Batman's my thing. So of course, one's gonna appeal to you more than the other. Just like, look, if we really want to talk about the greatest animated series based on a comic, yeah, you're just gonna have to look at the Spawn. Yeah, Spawn is better than all of them.
Is it really?
I mean, it's really fucking good. You get the Rod Serling style intros by Todd that are better than most shows will ever be for its cheesiness.
Cool. I
Yeah.
never watched them.
All right, so it is called Actual Dracula, and the interview is Interview with the Dracula. Clever title, I know. All right, you know what? It's the show that I keep seeing the thumbnail for. Sometimes I forget what the name of the channel is.
Oh
Cyclops.
my
definitely
god, that was so good. That was so good. And no spoilers, but that was so fucking good.
Yeah. Jubilee's robots at the mall line was great. Like, yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs for every X-Men fan of every era. I mean, for instance, there's like in the beginning, once again, this is not a spoiler. They show Magneto's picture on TV, and it's actually like an homage in double because Ed Piskor homaged Kirby's Magneto and X-Men Grand Design, and the way that they shade the eyes in the photo is the same way as the homage to both of those. So yeah, you can dissect it and find Easter eggs aplenty.
Yeah.
So,
I
there we
want to
go,
watch
Murray.
one of those. Yeah, I want to watch one of those YouTubers that does like breakdown, like frame by frame, just to sort of see what I missed.
Yeah. Murray K. Morrison's gonna run out to buy as many copies as he can of X-Men 1. One down, 4.999 million to go. There's a lot of
I think he might mean the Silver Age X-Men one. I don't know.
No, he said the 91 X-Men.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So
that's not going to break.
We'll talk about this in a sec. We'll get to it quick. It's been years since I watched, but there was an anime called Big O. I don't know that, but I'll have to look it up. Thank you, Joshy. Before we get to the other parts of the things we want to talk about, this Sunday that's coming up, dropping my interview with Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote, and it's fantastic. They are the creative geniuses behind Somna, the new distillery book. The final issue comes out next week, so the interview drops Sunday. If you like erotic, supernatural, folktale horror, then Somna's your book. If you liked The Witch from A24, you like A24 movies, Somna's your book. And if you want to hear about yeah, and it was a great time talking. We also get to talk about movies and music a little bit. I'm going to have them back on after the third issue comes out. And then we'll do some spoiler talk. Hello, Manu. Manu is here. 9.9 Newsstand. What do we have here? We have friends.
Manu. What's up, Manu?
Yeah. I didn't notice this Easter egg, John, but I wasn't looking at everything as I would on my second viewing, which I probably will watch. Manu's in the house. Another friend that's going to be at DaveVentureCon.
Yes.
Tyler, they are just in certain circles. A24 has put out
like won a couple Oscars recently. So
yeah, they won Moonlight, Room. Brie Larson won for Room. Something else won Best Picture too.
Last year,
Moonlight was the first one.
Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Right, Everything Everywhere All at Once. There we go.
Yep.
The
best multiverse movie.
Yeah, the best multiverse movie. Period. So speaking of, that interview drops Sunday. If you didn't watch my retailer roundtable this Sunday with the owners of Comics Place in Bellingham and Cape and Cal, Aton is the owner of Cape and Cal. Jeff and Django were the owners of Comics Place. I tried my best to kind of like, give a little talk and get some opinions on what's going on with the comics industry, because you hear a lot of these shitty YouTubers be like, oh, well, blah, 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 this is garbage and blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah, little man, go over in the corner. Let's talk to some real people. That's the thing. Like if you, and anybody that's hanging out in here and that watches my shows knows that I'm like, I don't know how to describe. I'm an empathetic person that actually understands where people come from. And so like when somebody's, when I hear these people, like the Glenn O'Leary guy that started this whole thing, that was yammering on about stop putting your personalities into the comics you write. He went on a tirade about The Last Mermaid a couple weeks ago, saying that it looks like AI. And Derek Kirk Kim is an artist that's been around a long fucking time. And he came back to comics with Last Mermaid, and it's all digital art. And this guy Glenn O'Leary, he's a comic store owner that finds it okay to just bash comics. So I wanted to do something where I talk to comic store owners that have fucking 2 brain cells to rub together or more, and that aren't pieces of shit. And so I hope people got to watch that, and it's going to be happening again. So
I watched it. I love that episode. As we discussed, I'm sort of getting into the actual comic shop opening business, and I really learned a lot. And I just found those guys to be like you said, very thoughtful, or just very. They were so encouraging of each other and sort of bouncing ideas off of you and each other, and very dynamic. It was a great conversation, and those are guys I'd love to meet and hang out with, and go to their shop. And that's the type of business owner you want to know and support.
And I got somebody I talked to on a pretty regular basis basically said to me, I'd love to have thoughtful comic shop owners like that. That it's exactly, it's collaborative instead of combative, and that's what I love to see. Oh yes, Civil War looks like it's going to be terrifyingly good, the new Alex Garland movie for May 24 with Kirsten Dunst. I'm scared to see that movie, but I'm excited to see that movie. Matty's not opening a brick and mortar, but he did just debut his new comic shop,
online shop. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, it's an online shop that does new comic ordering and back issues. I'm gonna keep sort of uploading and kind of it's kind of like, rather than spending a bunch of time listing on eBay, I'm just kind of investing in my own site and trying to put everything I can in there so that people can grab a little of everything. All my graded comics will go there, new comics, old comics, whatever. So yeah, it's just
yeah, I'm excited for the future for you and that business. It's funny, Justin. By the way, hi Justin. I thought about opening up a shop, and it's funny. Me and Matty talked about it when we first started hanging out and talking, but we live on opposite sides of the country. But honestly, in the last year, in Washington and Portland alone, I've seen almost every comic shop got broken into. So if I ever do anything like that, it's going to be a private appointment only shop. Mortar, that's it. Dude, there was a shop that got broken into 3 times. Yeah, and it's not just this part of the country. It's everywhere. People are hitting collectible store like it's the new gold.
That's
so yeah. Derek, I agree with you. Gatekeepers in the hobby are pretty terrible. And when shop owners become gatekeepers, it's just like, yeah, okay. You can be part of that old wave of shitty people with really awful views on the comic book space. And I'll be over here with people that love the art form. They love all about comics. You got comics makers that I'm friends with, comic collectors, comic sellers. Those are the types of people that I want to associate myself with. But if I can bring people onto this channel that have a voice that really, not just touches people, but opens people up to things that maybe they're not used to, then that's great. I'm not here to, if I don't like a comic, and I said this on the stream, if I don't, I don't really love Jeff Johns as a writer. I've tried to read a bunch of his stuff. His writing doesn't do it for me, but I'm not going to trash it, and I'm not going to tell people not to buy it. Yeah, that's right. Dream Strands just got hit the other week, and somebody drove a car into it and then robbed it during at night. Yeah.
I mean, as a point of contrast, I've actually been robbed by an employee, and I'm not even open to the public. Right. So it can happen as soon as you open yourself up to even just 1 or 2 other people, even if you're not open to the public, there's risk involved. It's
of course.
But yeah, it's an unfortunate fact of life, or just part of the business, I guess.
Murray, Mordor is not what how you spell mortar, but it is a place where you can destroy Sauron. So there is that. You
It's
know,
got
he is
that
the
going
all.
for it.
And now, since we've got somebody that's never seen Lord of the Rings in here, Mordor Mystery is actually, it's about two orcs. All right, hear me out. It's about two orcs that are trying to solve where the One Ring is. It's a hard-boiled detective series, and it abruptly ends when all of Mordor gets destroyed.
It's Only Murders in the Building meets The Two Towers.
Exactly. Ray, hello to you too. Derpa derpa doo. Someone robbed you fellows of hair. Wow, Bryce. Someone's about to rob you of ever buying books from both of us when we block your ass.
Looks like you just
Oh.
bought yourself a ticket
Ooh,
to No Comic Land.
that's right. No more comics for you, Bryce. It's over. Now you have to buy all your comics from somebody like Zanello.
Party time's over, Bryce. You done messed up.
Let's open a nerd store and called it Brick and Mortar. That would actually be amazing. Manu said he liked.
Someone's got to have done that, right?
Yeah, Manu said he likes that you and your wall are dressed similarly.
Well, full disclosure, I am in my better half's therapy den. This is where she does therapy. So if you guys feel like you're receiving therapy right now, you are. You're welcome.
Bring out the gimp. The gimp's sleeping. Where you gonna have to go and wake him up. You know, beat for beat, I could probably, like, if you named a scene in Pulp Fiction, I could like remember what song plays in that scene. It's such an iconic symbiotic soundtrack to picture movie. What up, Gabby?
Pick a soundtrack that is more symbiotic and iconic. Pulp Fiction or The Crow?
Oh, that's, you know, I'm going to say Pulp Fiction because the songs were tied to the scenes. The Crow is the better soundtrack.
Sure. Yeah. The Crow, I mean, a majority of the songs were in the movie, though, the Crow movie, weren't they?
They were, but they weren't like mixed to the scenes. Like Dead Souls plays while he's running on the rooftops, and like I forget that. I think who's on stage the first time they go into the club. It's not My Life with the it's not. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's not as integral to the movie itself. Yeah.
Like Big Empty plays. I think
Tarantino writes the songs into his scripts. Like it's very specific. Yeah.
Yep. It is a safe space. Watching Matty right now, I want to talk about my feelings.
just let it out. Let it out.
Well, you know, Murray, he is a semi-retired professional poker player.
I can play some cards.
Bryce is gonna have to get all his comics from Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Singles, but once again, Singles is my favorite soundtrack of all time. But those songs don't tie the scenes to the, they're not tied to the scenes. Whereas Pulp Fiction, like the cover, the Urge Overkill covers when she overdoses. The beginning is Dick Dale and the Dinosaurs. Like, the rape scene, the Marcellus Wallace scene is that one song. It really is tied to it.
The Crow was every single band and song was such a it's like a crystallized moment in time of that particular year. Whereas Pulp Fiction is like a playlist that it opens your mind up to like all these different genres and eras, and it's much more expansive.
But The Crow is, I mean, to me, the two greatest soundtracks of all time are Crow and Singles. I have a hard time picking a favorite. Queen of the Damned is a fantastic soundtrack. It's a shit movie, but it is a fantastic soundtrack.
Is that Aaliyah movie?
That was the Aaliyah movie based on the Anne Rice book. But the thing is Jonathan Davis from Korn wrote all the songs for the movie that Stuart Townsend sung. Davis did all the vocals for the movie, but there was a dispute with the record label, and he wasn't allowed to sing the songs on the soundtrack. So he got his buddies to do the songs. So it was like Chester from Linkin Park did one of the songs. Chino from Deftones did one of the songs. Dave Draymond from Disturbed did one of the songs. And they're all fantastic songs because they were sung by people who can, like, despite what you may think of nu metal, those dudes had pipes. Dave Draymond is like an operatic singer. He just happens to be going, oh, wow. But the fact that he can do a lot of things with his voice. I mean, craziest thing about that band, their biggest song on Spotify, which I think may have hit the 1 billion play mark, is their cover of Sounds of Silence, which it's wild how that became such a huge song for them.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou is a great one. But we were just picking between Pulp Fiction and The Crow when it comes to the symbiotic relationship between the songs and the scenes. My thoughts on the new Crow are, I hope people enjoy the movie. I will not be paying to see it.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jack Rabbit in the swim scene. That's right. It was a teenage wedding, and then all folks turned to wow. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like right. Ooh, Blade and the Vampire EDM rave scene. Puzaskis. That's what Tracy Lords yells to the doorman in Blade. Puzaskis. I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to mean. Lost Highway. That's a great one to tie this. Good. But David Lynch is a master of the composition of everything in a movie.
Yeah. And
he really yes, that's right. That's right.
The Spider-Verse movies have had great soundtracks.
Yeah, they have. Hudson Hawk. Derp, I saw that movie once and never again, so I can't remember.
I saw it 0 times.
Yeah.
That's one of these things where, like, my dad was like my movie buddy growing up, and I saw most of the great movies of the 80s with him, but he had a very strong opinion. He was like a tastemaker where he was just like, that movie's terrible. Like, we're not seeing that. Like, I missed out on a lot of things. Like, he famously shitted all over Ghostbusters 2 right when we walked out of the movie, and it like ruined the movie for me. I was like a kid, like, yay, Ghostbusters 2, this is so great. He's like, that was terrible.
Your dad needs to smack himself in the face, because Ghostbusters are that movie is a perfect movie. Like that and Back to the Future. Oh, the second one? Oh, I thought you said the first. Yeah.
No, we're talking second, because he was such a big fan of the first, and he felt the second was dog shit compared to
the second one was fun, but yeah, the first one's so perfect. It's like nothing compares to the first one. Whereas Gremlins and Gremlins 2, it's hard to pick a better one because they are completely different movies, and they're both amazingly in bonkers in their own right.
Who's the bomb? Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of bad movies, I saw Madam Web last week for free. I did not pay for it. Okay. Manu wishes dragons were real. That means he probably loves the band Imagine Dragons, but it's like,
well, Manu, wish in one hand and get a dragon to shit in the other. See which one weighs up first.
Post Malone. Whatever happened to Pre Malone or just Malone? But I saw Madam Web, and look, if you're really concerned about hearing spoilers for Madam Web, then you can leave right now. Because if you really are concerned about seeing that movie, let me just tell you, the first 2/3 of that movie, they're like, they might have been good if they went like full tilt, like horror. Like if it was a horror movie and the character, I forget, Ezekiel Moreland, whatever the fuck, is like trying to kill them, and like, but they didn't. He's running around in a Spider-Man suit, which makes no sense. But the last like 20-25 minutes of that movie. Now, let me just say, I still stand that this movie is not as bad as Venom 2. But the last 20-25 minutes of that movie is like somebody said, okay, the studio said, we ran out of money. So then the director and the writer are like, okay, we're going to take this script. It's not finished. We're going to insert it into this AI fax machine, and it's going to spit out. And then we're going to take that script and we're going to feed it to an AI that's going to operate the camera, the special effects. And the last 25 minutes of that movie, it went from like, okay, this movie's like serviceable garbage to what the fuck did I just watch? Because like the FX just went like from normal FX to like 8-bit. Dakota Johnson clocked out of that movie. Like Sydney Sweet, like they all clock out of that movie. And then the end of the movie, she gets hit, like a firework hits her in the eye and she's blind, but she's paralyzed. And the last like 3 minutes of that movie, she's Professor X. Like I have no fucking clue what the hell happened at the end of that movie. But it went from like, oh, I'm interesting to see how they go from, like overall from the second act to the final act to like, what the fuck just happened? But they gave up at the end of that movie. They gave it to an AI because it went from like dialogue to like just a bunch of panicked women screaming and getting hit with fireworks.
Wow. I haven't seen it yet. I want to, given this description, I want to hate watch it, but
So
it's almost like they saw the cover of ASM 210 and they're like, well, everyone loves this beloved character clearly, so we need to really pay homage to like with this really well known and beloved character. Nobody knows who this is, but they forgot to like reverse engineer it, so they're just sort of like, she's got to end up an old lady with the blind and
in a wheelchair and in a wheelchair. I still don't know, like a firework goes up and then shoots down. Oh, I forgot to say she was underwater. So the firework goes up and then shoots down at 40 miles an hour into the water and hits her in the face, and she's blind and paralyzed. Like
fireworks don't work that way.
No, they don't. And the thing is like that should have been the focus of their promo campaign. Not as bad as Venom 2. I would have respected that a lot. Madam Web is a masterclass in storytelling.
Better or worse than Morbius, though?
We're going to talk about this in a section. The end of the movie is like witness signatures versus authenticated. We'll get to that. I promise we'll get to that in just a moment. With great responsibility,
in this movie.
Considering the strikes, it's very possible that the strike made that movie go full on AI. Madam Web is my favorite Spider-Man character, if not favorite. All right, I'm going to solve Sony's problems off the bat. All you had to do with that movie is at the beginning of that movie, say the word Spider-Man. At the end of that movie, say the word Spider-Man. And you would have made that movie like 15 to 30% better, because then it would have had the context of being connected to fucking Spider-Man.
But they try to do it though, don't they? Because it's a period
There's no
piece.
mention of any spider villain. There's no mention of Spider-Man. There's
a hint. There's a hint that a baby being born is going to be Peter Parker.
Is there? Because I don't remember hearing that.
I just know this from the spoiler, from the YouTubers that sort of like do like the funny recaps. This is how I know this. But you apparently. It was not easy to pick up on.
No. Pretty much, yes. Yes, the firework is the magic bullet. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Here's the thing. Morbius was, if I was to rate, I was gonna say, like, out of these 4 or 5 movies that they did, which are Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, Madam Web, and I already know Craven's gonna be shit, but Morbius, the redeeming quality I think about Morbius was the makeup. Like the makeup job on Leto was fantastic. But
there's like one shot that he turns over his shoulder and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, that was the best part of the whole movie. Oh, whoops.
But the thing is, I don't know, because I fell asleep halfway through Morbius. I woke up and the movie was like almost over. I was like, I'm not rewinding this. She didn't drown, because at the end of the movie, she's Professor X. She's in like a floating wheelchair with a visor. I literally, like, if you had if someone had hit you in the face with a lead pipe about 25 minutes before that movie ended, you might understand how that movie ended better. Just like she literally like they're fighting on top of a fireworks factory and like because she's clairvoyant, she can see how to like trap the spider hunter Moreland Ezekiel guy, and then the
Yeah.
fireworks are going off everywhere, and she falls off the top of the thing, and on the way down, she's in the water, and the firework just comes 40 miles an hour into the water, hits her in the face, and then I don't know, she's in a wheelchair. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. They
I
do. That's
love
right. They
watching
do
the-
mention Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I love watching Dakota Johnson's press about it because she's
Oh my
so
God, it's
over
amazing.
it. And like whenever people are like, "I've heard it's good," she's like, "Really?"
Yeah, I
Like she's
you
like
know,
she literally can't believe that anyone would like it.
I feel bad for the one interview where the dude's like, I bought Madam Web's first appearance, and she's like, get me the fuck out of here. I
She's
mean,
like,
look,
she's
Dakota
like,
Johnson.
"Oh yeah, that looks like a first edition."
Look, Dakota Johnson isn't known for her acting skills. She's never been in anything that anybody's like, man, that was a meaty role. She was in the most popular erotic, adaptation ever, 50 Shades of Grey and all that. Just because she's Melanie Griffith's daughter does not mean she's uber talented, but she knew that was a shit movie.
She knew.
Yeah.
I think she was good. I remember I saw it. I remember liking her in the remake of Suspiria, which was
Oh, that's right. I forgot because Tilda Swinton outperformed her by like a country
For
mile.
sure.
So
for
I
sure,
forgot
for sure.
that was a Dakota Johnson movie.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a Dakota Johnson joint.
Yeah, yeah. She drowned at the beginning and almost only drowned at the end. Yeah, Craven is gonna suck. And to Adrian's point, how many times do you think they'll mention Craven and Spider-Man and Craven? Zero. Is there they might actually they might say Spider 6 times in the movie. They might say man 100 times in the movie, but they will never say Spider-Man in the movie. That's the stupidest plot ever. The whole fucking Sony universe is the stupidest plot ever. Her web chair. I want to see big boobied bears in real life, movies or TV. All right, here we go. I didn't know what to do with that either. So I know a lot of people want to hear us talk about the Rhino. Looks cool though. I mean, I guess they're just ruining everything. But it doesn't matter. You know what it doesn't ruin? It doesn't ruin the comics because the comics will always exist, even if the movies all dry up. Why it's a surprise?
Correct.
Wolverine lost his memory, but Martin, I hate you. Why are you making me say that out loud? Tilda Swinton outperformed her 3 times. Okay, so funny thing, before we get into CGC's bullshit, because they're always full of bullshit. 2 things. Third viewing of Suspiria remake was when I realized that Tilda Swinton was the old man. Not the first time, not the second time, but the third time. That's how fucking awesome Tilda Swinton is. And then
And
the
the
other thing I
makeup.
want to yeah, great makeup. I want to show off 2 things before we go into the CGC bullshit. Some of the merch is coming in for Dave VentureCon. There's going to be a full-on merch store. So we've got the West Coast Dave Ventures coffee mug. This is a nice, I think a 16 ounce or a 14 ounce one. And then
That looks like
these are going to
that's
be
a thick
available.
boy.
Yeah, it's a thick boy. And these are going to be available at some point. Probably like they're going to be available starting the week before. And we got the Dave VentureCon tank top for the island vibe. I'm not representing it that well, am I? There we go. All right.
I guarantee you that's gonna look better on you than it does on me.
Yeah,
I'll
I
wear it.
like wearing tank tops.
Yeah,
like wearing
tops
tank
are not
top.
my jam, but I'll
Man
do it.
fused. There we go. Man fused with a timer spider. It's not trademarked. What's that? Spider, man. Exactly. There's going to be a scene where Aaron Taylor Johnson says to the guy that he's about to hunt, "What's that on your shoulder?" And then he looks, "It's a spider, man." That's what's going to happen. Actually, no. See, Tyler, I can't fully agree with this because the Spider-Man game is like the greatest superhero-based game. Like, I think it edges out the Arkham games just by a tiny bit.
Damn, I haven't played the Spider-Man, but I love the Arkham.
Yeah, the
first
Arkham games are great. All right. Card sale for Dave VentureCon. I might be doing a little card sale with Manu, but I don't have that much. There's too much planning going on for me to think about that right now. Fashion show. The Avenger Con condoms. Who uses those? That mug.
Avenger condoms.
So today, I did see that, Derpa. That's with Swinton
Good
and
one.
Hiddleston. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was shot in Detroit. Very Detroit looking movie too.
Solid.
Sony does the Spider-Verse flicks. That's right. So we can't say that Stay
Sometimes
away.
I just
Games are
think
good.
that it's got to be different, like completely different houses handling the with internally. I just can't imagine that the geniuses responsible for apparently the games and the Spider-Verse movies have anything to do with the decisions of the other of all of the live action. There's just got to be like some moron
Well,
in charge of the live action who has nothing to do with the animator of the video.
they could also be, what they might be doing is like possibly purposely tanking those movies so that Marvel's like, look, we'll just give you $1 billion. Give us Spider-Man.
Just stop, like cease and desist.
Yeah, like exactly like $1 billion to just fucking stop.
It does seem like it is like a Mel Brooks producers situation here. They're just like putting out crap to with some wacky ulterior motive at this point.
Yeah, it's and then yet Warner Brothers shelves Batgirl, which everybody says was really good, but they don't put it out for a tax write-off. So who knows? But
right.
Anyway, so today in stunning news, everybody's favorite grading company that sucks ass, CGC, announced that they're buying JSA, James Spence Authentication Company, effectively basically putting their stamp on saying we're going to start authenticating signatures for comics. And in my eyes, the first piece of that is goodbye CBCS. Like that's the end of their one thing that they did. The one thing that they did that gave people like a reason to submit. Whereas like, for example, and that's why I put these up here. These are my OG. This is my OG Spawn copy that I got signed by Todd. Now I can technically send this to CGC. They'll authenticate it and give it whatever their new label and
that's a
color
dope
label.
Signature.
Yeah, this is. I have no intention of sending this in. This is probably the first time I met Todd in the early 2000s, and technically had like my own private signing with him.
So cool.
Yeah.
The way I think about like the CBCS trajectory is sort of like in the movie when like there's a big battle where the good guys like sort of like clawing their way up the side of a cliff. It's like we made a new case. We made a new label. We're almost saved. We have the new label, guys. You guys like the new label? And then CGC is the bad guy like coming over and they just like step on the foot. We're doing signature verification, bitch.
Well, and in that, I do like what Derek said. Derek said when CBCS declares Chapter 11, CGC should just buy their cases. He's not wrong. Who is Tab McFarlane? I'm not sure. This is actually signed by Tord McFarlane, all Lord Tord. It's not for sale, but nice try, Mike. And it's not for sale.
$1 million.
Yeah, sure. Name your price over $1,000. The fact that Sony, Sony that rancid little turd to everyone that they were like, yep, looks good to us. Spider-Man games are practically a part of the Arkham games. Yeah, they did. It's a port of the Arkham games. Bort McFarlane. So here's the thing, right? Now, some of you know, some of you don't. I worked in the sports memorabilia industry, for 13 years or something like that. I've been collecting in-person autographs since I was 12. JSA is not a perfect company, which is kind of interesting. Not that any of these companies are perfect at what, and when I say perfect, I mean at the thing that you pay them to do. We all know that CGC is a fucking shamble of a company that wants your money, but does not want to give you any quality, or at least consistent quality. They also have 2 lawsuits against people that foiled their label process, as me and Manu exposed over the course of whatever it was, 2 months. But
Hobby
JSA,
Heroes!
hey,
Mount
but
up!
JSA has been known to be very much not good at authenticating real autographs. They do not have a great track record. Let me just tell you that. PSA's authentication on autographs is a lot better than JSA. And when it comes down to it, the people that pay them the most money, their biggest clients, will usually be able to submit whatever they want, and it'll pass. But it's interesting because I think it's the last thing that CGC needed to do to crush their competition. So yeah, hell yeah. So we can crack yellow labels now. Do you mean like a CBCS yellow label or a CGC yellow label?
Well,
Because I'm not
I
sure
think
why you'd
either
want to crack
way.
it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it brings up a question I have, which is, I heard someone asking, I think it was on Mickey's podcast today. He was asking, will there be a significant difference in value between a CGC witness signature, which is the standard, and the new verified signature? Will there be a
There
value
shouldn't be.
differential?
There shouldn't be,
No?
for the reason of like, there's no such thing as a CGC witnessed or a CBCS witnessed Jack Kirby. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. So you
Right.
can't tell me that somebody's gonna be like, oh, I want to pay less for this Jack Kirby verified
No, but
signature.
given the choice, given the option of like two Todds,
Sure.
one of them's witnessed, one of them's verified.
One will be cheaper. The verified will be cheaper on the living, but like Bernie writes in, it won't matter. He's only got a very limited amount of CGC books out there. So Matt said CBCS will be fine. The people who were waiting for CGC to do this weren't going to submit, but CBCS isn't fine. They never will be. And the reason why, like me and Matty talk about this a lot, it is, I'm not kidding, it is near impossible to sell CBCS slabs. So like maybe for collectors, but that's a very limited amount of people. And y'all know I'm not a big fan of graded books anyway. I don't really make a lot of my sales based off that. But I've sold one CBCS slab in a year. One. How many of you sold, man, in the last year? Guesstimate.
Jeez. I mean, it's a really low number. Honestly, I don't even really try. I have like a little stack like this that a stack of CBCS slabs, and I don't bring them out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really try.
Yeah.
That's the
all right. So any yellow label. Yeah, I'm assuming so. I
mean,
John,
if I had, I am curious about I like the presentation of the new labels relative to the old ones. I feel like there are people that are digging them. And if I had, I might mess around with like a submission at some point with the new labels and just see how it goes. But certainly with the old labels, it's a no-go.
Mm-hmm. I like what Adrian said here. They're not good at authentication. Sounds like a perfect fit for CGC. It does sound like a match made in heaven. I did not see this derp. I didn't. JSA will authenticate almost anything for $10 and a story.
Story. What about a song?
Yeah, that maybe both. John Byrne hasn't done. Yeah, I don't think he's ever done a signing with CGC. So yeah, pretty much any John Byrne. And I agree with Derek. Look, here's my thought about autographs. And I know I'm coming from a place of experience and I guess you could say privilege that I collected autographs in person. Who gives a shit about? I mean, like, do autographs really mean anything to anybody if you didn't get it in person? Like, what? It doesn't really matter. Like, anything can be faked. If you didn't see it signed in front of you, anything can be faked. Anything can be swapped. Anything can be faked. This cannot be faked. Hi, Todd, can you sign this? Same with this, and these were purchased from Todd directly on Whatnot. So unless the man's selling fake autographs, I can be rest assured that, those are real.
Joke's on you, Davey. When I stayed at your house like 2 years ago, I went in there and I swapped out all those comics and I scribbled my own signature, and you don't know the difference.
well, now that's great. I have Matty signed comics. That's almost better. Almost.
Mwah.
See Matty, bye Matty. Rit said you could crack a CGC yellow label and get a press to read. Yeah, and when you said that, I saw the comment. I'm like, that makes sense, right? Like, if you take a 7.5, Stanley signed ASM 1, and you crack it out of a yellow label CGC, press it, clean it, bump it to a 9.0, and it gets a verified, that thing's not losing any value. Even if it wasn't, even if it was a lateral bump, even if it was just a presentation bump, that would not lose value no matter what. Like, nobody's going to be like, oh, he didn't sign this in the presence of the CGC guys. I'm not going to buy it for the, whatever that book is worth signed in a 7.5, 60 grand or whatever.
Just a quick cautionary note before you guys get all slab happy or crack happy. Get
Crack
all high on
happy.
fucking slabs. Just keep in mind that there's always a risk with clean press resubmit or whatever, but especially with signatures, because with CBCS verified, it sneaks up on you how fucking expensive it is to use that verification service. It's like $55 per signature. Then if you get something double signed, triple signed, it's like you're talking about over $100 just for verification. So,
Wow.
and I'm sure with those high value, like a Stanley or a Kirby or whatever, that stuff's going to be expensive to authenticate.
Of course it is.
Just keep that in mind, that whenever you take that gamble to resub, it's a pretty big buy-in.
So I want to piggyback off that, and Matt, we'll get to, I appreciate this tidbit of information because I didn't know. I actually have a stack of index cards signed by some really big names. Some of them I think may be fake, and like they weren't signed by the person, they were signed by the assistant. But I have like a Sinatra, I have a couple of really big names, and I was gonna send them into JSA or PSA until one of my former coworkers, who's still in the autograph industry, was like, "Dude, you're gonna pay thousands to get all of those because it's all big names." I trying to think what I did with it. I would show them off right now, but they're somewhere that I can't remember. They're in a box somewhere. So yes, you are going to pay out the ass for verification. Look, let's not beat around the bush. CGC is just doing this to make more money. They're not doing it because they want to bring the collectors things. They see an opportunity to make thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every week on this service that they provide, when they still haven't done anything to rectify the fact. I know Automatic Comics said that the seal on the new label, the new seal on the case is like better. Overhaul your whole fucking service, my friends.
Yeah. And also, this is completely antithetical to like for all these years, they've acted as though they're on this high horse of, I've watched interviews with Matt Nelson and different representatives of CGC saying, essentially, in so many words, like, we disagree with the concept of verification because you can never verify. They're basically just like cynically being like, oh, now that we can acquire this company, we can verify, and you're going to pay us for it.
It's such bullshit. And Hell Yeah said, and I 100% agree with this, to my core, he's got a couple of Stan Lee SIGs. They're on the inside because traditionally, if you handed Stanley or Jack Kirby a book, they'd open it up and sign it. Why get those slabs? Like, and here's the other thing. And I got to imagine that JSA is going to make a workaround, because if you get something authenticated by JSA or PSA, they sticker it. They put their sticker on it, for authentication. My guess is because they're going to be slabbed that they will not be stickering the books. But could you imagine they decided to sticker the books and CGC's like, we're not going to do anything to the grade. We're not going to take the grade down a notch. And everybody would just be like, fuck, but then people would still submit.
I sort of have a counterpoint to Hell Yeah. If it's on the inside, if it's on the splash page, it seems like even more reason to get, if you're going to grade it, like,
you'll never see it.
It doesn't present to the outer eye. So if you got it graded, it would be terrible to get it graded without being verified, because then it would be like, name, Jack Kirby written on first page, and like you wouldn't get the credit essentially, or the value recognized.
Yeah, but at that point, like, I think what he's saying is like, why am I going to slab something where I can never see the autograph again? It's like,
well,
you can justify
the label. The label is the consolation.
Yeah. Marsh said, I have a Strange Tales 178 Starlin sign with a COA in his personal copy, a Roy Thomas sign. Yeah, don't send him. It's you got what. Okay, so here's the thing about autographs. And look, you might disagree with me. This is just my point of view. If you get it signed in person, then it's priceless to you. You don't have to worry about authenticating it unless one day you're like, I'm going to sell this. If you buy something like the Strange Tales that comes with a COA, that's his personal copy. Like, why slab it? Like, CGC is not going to denote that on the label. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But like, really, like, the only need to slab any of these books is if you intend to sell them. Like, you can always slab them 20 years from now if you want to sell it. But slabbing it just to have it slabbed, why? I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people, I mean, anyone who likes to collect slabs who's not a seller would have reasons to give. You know, they like to know, like they like, I don't know, they like to have the grade number attached to it, and like the sort of, it kind of like shores up the value and makes it this kind of like object that's a little bit more, I don't know.
It
like,
shores up the value, except maybe like the last 7 months where slabs are just going.
I'm not even necessarily saying that it increases the value. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
it makes it a
sure.
little bit more definite.
Yeah, whatever that value is, it'll be shored up because yours is a 9.8 or whatever. Bump your green label 9.8s to yellow label 9.9s. All you have to do is hand over your bank account to CGC, and whatever they charge you and decide is what you get. Will a verified SIG keep a new 9.9 off? The 9.9 thing I'm not even going to touch because they basically did that to Manu. They saw Manu on the interview and they're like, we're just going to go through this whole thing to make sure this one guy is happy. And they did the opposite because I think Manu's more pissed off now than he was before the interview.
I can't imagine how Manu feels because I feel like crawling out of my skin watching that video.
It's
like
so bad.
Any novice grader is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Those are not 9.9s.
Liefeld is doing a signing for CGC. One of the options is with blood. He's going to slice his finger and sign a blood pack. You know, Rob Liefeld, if that was the actual case, Martin, I would submit 400 books to it. 400 books, even if he's charging $200 per blood.
Is that real?
No, I think it's like they're using like a red marker and he does a blood splatter. So he does the what's it called? I forget the name of he signs it.
He does a chisel.
Yeah, he signs the chisel like his banner signature.
Yeah.
But then the blood thing, I think he splatters it with red paint pen.
He just like opens a vein.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tyler, Matty said that. And
That's
yeah,
it, dude.
yeah, 100%.
It's so
100%.
fucking cynical.
Yep. Everybody's chiming in with the same thing. Yeah.
I should say hypocritical. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have my Secret Wars 8 Stanley Sig verified by CBCS just to have it slabbed. It was over $100 for one book. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of money. I wish I could find those. I wish I remember where I put those index cards. I'll look for them in a second. But the holier than thou.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, just a note on like the signature chase thing. Like I've only done one. I've only had one experience of sort of chasing signatures around a con. It was just recently at this past New York Comic Con, and it was fun. It feels like sort of a scavenger hunt. You're like, you're going around, and it's fun to meet the creators and stuff. And there's a lot to be said for it. I mean, it's a much bigger pain in the ass to get the witness, to drag the witness around to every table, and it'd be a lot easier just to do your own thing and then get it verified later. But I guess my point is that I think a lot of times the chase for me as a seller, I'm not going to keep any of that stuff. It was sort of an experiment to chase those signatures. And like, I don't know that I made a lot of money on that endeavor, that it was worth the time or anything. It's like, I feel like when you actually look at GPA, like values of signed books versus unsigned, it's a lot of the time it's pretty even, unless you're talking about like a Stan Sig, which is pretty like concrete value, generator. A lot of signatures are just kind of like meh, even. So like a lot of the sort of chase for it, I think is kind of folly.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you know, if you're just doing it for the money, um, CGC is going to
I've
be the one to win on that endeavor.
and you know, I like getting. I used to love getting my books signed. I still have most of the ones that I got signed in person. I've given a lot, some of them away, but Murray, you know, Murray brings up this kind of age old thing. There's a line in collecting certain things, right? That people will say it devalues it. Comic books sometimes, you know, as a point, signature should downgrade a book. It's no longer a news rack fresh. It's damaged, just like, you know, yeah, and I even if I don't agree, I understand that point of view. I used to buy and collect game worn hockey jerseys, and you know, sometimes I would get them signed on the number on the back, where I would get like a non game worn jersey signed. But then some people look at it as like that's not that's an addition to what was worn in the game. It's not, it's altering it for the worse. And so a lot of people will get their game worn jersey signed on the inside part of the logo crest. So like you turn the jersey inside out and you sign on the inside so that it doesn't show, but it's still signed. And I can see that argument for comics. Like it should downgrade it because you are altering the book. Like if you take a 9.8 and you get it signed, like why isn't it a 9.6 or a 9.4? You know, just because CGC is the ones making the decisions is why. It's a hypocrisy. It truly is, because right, if Murray says I wrote my name in my comic, I'm getting it graded. Oh well, it's getting a green label, or it's getting it's not getting a 9.8 because, but that's his book. He wrote it. He owned it. Like, so it is a conundrum. It is a conundrum in that. Mike, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Raw is beautiful.
It also just feels a little, especially with like old Grail books, it feels a little, I don't know, sacrilegious to mar existing copies like that. You know, I mean, I know that some people, that's just the thing, is that some people feel that it increases the value, even
Sure.
if not monetarily, that it's just more special to have a creator kind of
Mhm.
put their stamp on it. Then that's another philosophy, right?
I agree with that 100%. Like for the collector, it is more special to have your book signed by the creator. And I just want to point out, Jason, what's up, brother? They've had his scam books for 2 months and have not given him any timeline or information of when they're going to compensate him. And that's, you know,
Ouch.
CGC has been a fucking shit. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them.
Sorry,
Yeah.
dude. That sucks, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, and Jason's a great guy. So that, you know, even if he wasn't a great guy, I'd still feel bad for him. But he's a great guy. Lamar, it's on an index card. It was a collection of index cards that I bought from somebody, and one of them signed by Sinatra. Like I said, if I can't find it, I'll look for it in a little bit. But if I can't find it, I'll show them to you next time I'm live. At a con, I saw a guy at a Spider-Man poster. Yeah, but that's a poster. Like that's cool. I have a bunch of signed posters. I used to get poster signed. At one point, I had a movie poster, At one point, I had every character Sin City original movie poster signed by the actor except the Bruce Willis poster. And I
Mm.
love that shit.
I do really like, I will say that there's something cool about the kind of increasing difficulty level of like the multiple signatures on one object, whether it's
Yeah.
a book or whatever it is, just because it's harder to get and hard, you know, if you sort of collect them all, it's its own form of collecting within a collecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go grab one that I want to show off. It's in the other room. Can you sign your own book in front of CGC witness? I mean, right? You should be able to. I should be able to sign Turoks for people and send them into. I have it verified. It's on the internet. You know,
Yeah.
anyone interested in having
I
this
bet they
signed?
would witness the gold and just say, okay, what's your name again? You idiot. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And this has been people have pointed out doing this, getting the slab itself signed. And I think that's a great idea actually,
I've done
because
that. Yeah.
you're not ruining the book. And if you ever want to take that slab off, you just get it reslabbed.
Yeah. I think
So
it's great. Yeah, I like that practice, especially when people can do remarks and sort of artwork on on the slab. I've seen some really cool. There's a great Turtles example of that. Eastman did some nice painting on one of the slabs.
Matty, you keep talking. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? The turtle. If you guys see me this close, you're gonna see how weird my eye looks. I have a viral infection in my eye. I'm talking about my eye. This is what happened when you leave me to my own devices, Dave.
Here, let's I'm going to show something off because we were talking about multi-sign things. Feelings are split about getting books signed. I personally once saw my signed books. They hold memories and standing in line. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, look, none of us are keeping this shit, right? We're all gonna die, and nobody's gonna be buried with their comics. But at the end of the day, like, I you get to keep it for as long as you want, and then you don't need to think about what thinking about. Look, no, I don't want to get into it because it's a touchy subject for certain people. But I'm just saying, like, I don't have any kids. I'm not leaving anything to anybody. So when I die, Dave Correa and Joe Scar are going to take care of my collection. Signatures lost all value in me after I saw how Stan's handlers abuse. Yeah, that's pretty sad. That whole thing. That whole thing is so sad. Nothing looks worse to me than a book that has excessive signatures. Looks terrible. I'm going to change your mind on that. What up, Senny? What up, Senny? I'm a little late to the show. Have we covered already? We watched X-Men 97. Yeah, we talked about that for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we really
liked it. Print with the painting on the slab. I guess what you were talking about, the Eastman thing, was that sold on Heritage?
Oh, yeah, I think it was actually it was like a first print, right? Like a big Turtles book. First or second print, maybe it had like a really nice like painted slab case, and it sold for quite the premium, I believe.
And Rit's gonna make a business of slabbing signed slabs, and we get slab sign and then slab to slab. I mean, look, it's a never-ending thing, right? It's like a Russian doll in reverse.
It's so good. You see that? Right, I think it's a key appeal with the hat that's like the fresh hat. Do you see that skit?
Yeah.
Where it's like one of them has like a hat with a sticker on it, then one of them has a hat with a tag, and then the next one has like has like a sealed like whatever floating on his head, and then the like factory worker sitting on top of his head, like creating the hat.
There's a company that makes casing big enough for slabs. I think maybe Slab Mags. Get the slab sign, throw one of them over the top, so you're not worried about getting rubbed off. Yeah, that's true too. There's plenty of ideas. So let me show off this book real quick. If you've ever read the book Fables, Fables was written by Bill Willingham and mostly drawn by Mark Buckingham, with James Jean doing the first 75 covers. Probably the greatest run of covers ever, period, in comics, beating out everybody.
Give it up to this professional ass YouTuber, everybody. Look at this angle, this beautifully lit angle with the Davey banner. Oh my God. And the background, just give it up, everybody. This beautiful TV here. Come on.
So Fables did this one-shot graphic novel called 1001 Nights of Snowfall. So it's different artists involved. Here are the names: Esau Andrews, Brian Bolland, John Bolton, Mark Buckingham, James Jean, Kaluta, Derek Kirk Kim, Tara McPherson, Jill Thompson, and Charles Vess, and Mark Wheatley. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and get this signed by everybody involved in the book. And I'm halfway there. I got Buckingham at Emerald City Comic Con. I got Tara McPherson back when I used to hang out at Cotton Candy Machine in Brooklyn. Bolland at New York Comic Con. Charles Vess, and like most of these were gotten in New York. Kaluta, James Jean at one of his art openings. Derek Kirk Kim signed this at Emerald City Comic Con, and Jill Thompson. So like, this is my idea of, having something that's multi-signed by everybody that was involved, having a great place for everybody to sign it. So yeah, I enjoy doing stuff like this. This is something that I think is like, what else could you ask for? Like a cool hardcover book signed by and doodled in by everybody.
Who's that Sig on the left? It looks like Milo Manara.
That's Mike Kaluta.
Oh, Mike Kaluta. Okay.
Yeah. So James Jean, Jill Thompson, Derek Kirk Kim, Mike Kaluta, Charles Vess, Brian Bolland, Tara McPherson, and Mark Buckingham.
And that's only halfway?
Yeah, it's only halfway. So Esau, I've met Esau a bunch of times. He used to hang out at in Brooklyn at the same cotton candy machine that I used to, but I never had the book with me. Bolton and Wheatley are probably going to be the hardest because they don't do cons, and Bolton's British and like in his 70s. And I have no clue if I'll ever see Bill Willingham, but yeah, I might have to
Get
literally.
on that dude in the 70s, man. That's pronto.
I know. Well, you know what? Buckingham was just at Emerald City Comic Con. He's probably in his early 60s, so it may not be. I may be able to get John Bolton at some point. I'd probably just have to go to a fantasy like Dragon Con or something like that.
Sweet.
But yeah, I love multi-sign. I mean, if you guys want to see something really cool that's multi-sign and hockey, I could show that off too. Logo in the that's I got my mat down here. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing though. You could go for, you know, obviously it's going to be a lot harder. There are people that used to get like the DC Universe Encyclopedia signed by as many DC artists as they could. I've seen stuff like that on Heritage. When you do it all on a piece of art, like a cover, that's when it really gets crowded. But if you're talking about like a print or a poster that has a white border or something like that, you know, it's great for getting signatures. I mean, you know, to each their own, right? Right.
Teach his own. Yeah. Shout out to Teach. But yeah, I mean, I think that at a certain point, Mac, you just sacrifice the aesthetics of it completely, unless they're.
Yeah.
I mean, you do keep in mind like some they are artists and creators, so hopefully they'd have some taste about where they're gonna park their car, so to speak, as Todd calls it.
Yeah.
The signature placement, but sometimes they don't give a fuck, and it's just, you know, Stan had terrible placement a lot of the time. Claremont always goes over the trade dress, which I think is pretty obnoxious.
He does.
So yeah, you can, but as soon as you get above 3 sigs, it's probably going to look crowded, and you're just basically creating a rare artifact at that point that has lost its aesthetic meaning and coherence.
So Rit wants me to get something signed by Jim Lee as Jimothy Lee. I would love to. I used to do goofy shit like that when I collected hockey autographs. I had the Minnesota Wild. I think it was their second year that they existed when they were playing the Islanders. I had the team sign a talented Mr. Ripley poster just for no reason other than it was funny. You know, I love doing shit like that. So yeah, I would get Jim Lee to sign something Jimothy Lee.
I wonder if he would though. Would he just be like, "Why the fuck?"
Yeah, he would just look at me and be like, "No."
There is one multi-sig book that I really tend to like, which is the Zek Shooter Beatty Secret Wars 8. I tend to like how because they do it so much. That's kind of like a standardized trio.
Sure.
And I also really love the way that Zek venomizes the black suit Spidey when he does a remark. I've always wanted to own one of those or get him to sign one.
Zek's gonna be tough. You know, he fucking lives in he lives in Bali. I think he lives in Bali or the Philippines. He lives somewhere out in, you know, like Pacific Islands out there.
Wow.
And he like, I think he's on Twitter and he talks about, he's like, I don't know if I'm doing con this year or when ever, you know, but
yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I guess whenever he feels like making a bunch of money, he'll just come back over here and do a con or two.
Right.
You know what I don't like, and this is probably gonna, like, people disagree with me. People that get Marvel books signed by Stan Lee that he wasn't even working for the company when that book came out.
Oh yeah.
You know, people do it all the time. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, they don't do it anymore.
Well, they did. They did. Yeah. All your petty deeds will become pointless when Dave returns, when the hobby hero cleanses this world and all in it. He is the bringer of light, the Davenger. He is the infinite worlds within all of us.
What was the number of that scripture? 420?
Come on, work.
Oh, I think we're on the wrong side of the screen. Oh.
There we go. Yeah, Dave 420. By the way, 420, April 20th and 21st is Davenger Con. Don't forget. Hell yeah, multi-signed Secret Wars is done as well. Zek's got a great signature. One of the best pure, like, every letter with some style, you know.
Yeah.
You also need Todd Sig that says, "Oh yeah, that will happen." I did get this recently.
He's already on board with the motto.
This was from the Whatnot auction. It's like this old thing that they found in the warehouse. So I had him sign it to me, which was really cool. But
Nice.
yeah, I should have had him write "See Todd by Todd" right on it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a sense at this point, Dave, of like how much you remains to acquire to complete your Todd collection?
I don't, because I found like a couple of books recently that I didn't know he had artwork in. Like he's got a pinup in Iraq, that DC barbarian book, Iraq the Hunter, whatever it's called, like issue number 45. And I just found out about it and picked up a copy. So I think I would say non-image. I'm probably like 85 to 95% complete. To the
Pretty
point
good.
of I have more than 50% of every Todd McFarlane Mark Jeweler that exists as well.
That's sweet.
More than
Is that
50%.
going
Yeah.
to comprise the completion? Do you need to have all the Mark Jewelers?
That's just a side quest. That's a side
Side
quest.
quest.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Churn said, how about just say no to the SIGs on Mega Keys? I don't disagree with that at all. But like you said, it's a personal thing. I don't disagree. I don't fully agree, but I'm more towards the side of fully agreeing on that.
Yeah, I mean, again, part of me feels like it's sacrilege to sort of mark up one of the existing copies of a big key, but on the other hand, from a profit perspective, like the return is going to be most profitable on the biggest item. Like
Yeah,
it's sort of like a multiplying effect or whatever. So that's why people will always be tempted to do that.
sure. I don't disagree with this, Mac. $10 second, 10-second doodles and calling them remarks. Yeah. I mean, Chip Zdarsky doodled on the copy of Spider-Man Life Story that I'm going to give away for the raffle at Dave VentureCon, but it's not a remark, it's not a sketch. It's just a little Spider-Man head.
Yeah.
Barry Windsor Smith personal sig is horrible. His old sig is, I mean, it's like bloop 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 bloop, but it's big enough on some of the prints that I have signed by him. But I've seen some shitty autographs from him too. That'll be $500, please.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just it's like,
is it not just BWS? It's the full
the
name.
one on the prints that I have is like, it's kind of like kind of looks like this.
Oh, weird.
Like,
It's
yeah, it's just blah, 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 blah. But,
yeah.
I've seen his lighter signature is pretty crappy too. Mike, do you have every piece of published art from Todd? Because you never told me that you did, but if you did, that's pretty sick. If you do, I should say.
I bet between the two of you, you wouldn't necessarily agree on what constitutes completion.
There's that too. This is very specific, but my least favorite book in Sig combo is seeing Clayton Crane. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, because his fuck. I'm not gonna sit here and bash his artwork. I just don't like it, and I don't understand why people want his autograph on that book.
I get the appeal of him. He's not my favorite, but I never think of Ultimate Fallout as like a Crane book. Like I understand it's his artwork, but it's just that's so not the reason why that book is appealing to me, or I think to most people. It's not a Crane book. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why it feels so distracting to it's not like a bonus. It's like that you just ruined a perfect copy of Ultimate Fallout.
Michael says that's what I guess a remark and a doodle are the same thing. They are not a sketch. And now I think a lot of words get confused, like, oh, he sketched this book. It's like, no, he just doodled on it. A sketch is what you pay somebody, $100 for, and they take, 20 minutes to do like something, or whatever. Claremont once signed the interior.
Some people, not all doodles are created equal. Some people's doodles.
That is very true. So
other people what's like, oh man.
It's kind of crazy. Claremont once signed the interior of a book next to Cockrum, and the pen he used was too sharp. It ripped the page. I've seen that happen. Too much pressure. I have
wrong kind of pen too.
I have a couple of signed books, one of Claremont, one of Michael Golden, and there's somebody else where they're older signatures on the inside, and they are completely different than their signatures that if they signed on the exterior of the book. Wish I had them close to me. I could show them off. I didn't know we were going to go deep into autographs tonight because, like, the Cranebow. Yeah. I mean, I'll give the guy this. I don't find it appealing, but I'll give the guy the fact that when you watch him do those signatures, he's literally holding 5 different pens, one in each, in each finger. Like that dude's gonna have such bad nerve damage, in like 10 years because of that shit.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah, dude, I had ulnar nerve damage, which is the nerve that's under the carpal. It's the one that goes here instead of here. And
Uh-huh.
my hands get really locked up sometimes. I went to physical therapy
Yeah.
for a while for it. Yeah, Amber's got a good point. I think it depends on the key book. If we could have, most of us would have ran to get Spider-Man one signed by Ditko. Yeah, I actually just
Yeah.
saw a Ditko book sell on eBay that was signed on the interior for like 150 or 185 bucks. I didn't know that it was up until it was sold. I would have bought it.
Mm.
Even if it turned out to be fake, I would have taken the chance that it was
Mhm.
real because
Mhm.
it's so rare. What
So
if
on
Creed
that
signed
note,
your wife's t-shirt?
oh shit, he did.
Whoops.
On that note, here's just a little food for thought. This CGC news, coming back to that kind of the story. What are the biggest, like Manu mentioned, a 9.8 whatever gold label or whatever. Like, what are the biggest opportunities that are going to change? How is it going to change like specific types of books? Like, for example, a raw signed Ditko, or things that like people would have blanched at like sending to CBCS because they'd rather just keep it raw. And now, what are people going to be hunting for, the opportunities that present themselves now?
I don't know. What's your answer to that? I got
I
a
don't know. I
million to
guess
that question.
I'm just thinking it's like a lot is fair play now that wasn't before. Like people mentioned cracking out gold labels, like that you don't have to send them to CCS anymore in order to try to go for a bump on a signed book. You can just work on it
Right.
yourself and then send it back into CGC. I mean, that's a huge paradigm shift. For example,
It is, and who knows what they're going to who knows what have they really announced how this is going to work going forward?
Yeah. I mean,
So
they could, I don't know why they would, but they could say, I think, that a verified signature has a completely different color label. Like
there you go.
they
Yeah.
could do that just to
Hot.
maintain the
How about
sanctity of
neon pink?
their signature series.
Yeah.
You know?
Agent said, I really dislike a hastily sketch remark on a beautiful cover, ruins it for me, but if it's good, it can be an enhancement. I agree 100%. Adam Kubert does excellent remarks. I've never seen his remarks, but he's a great artist, so it wouldn't surprise me. You know who did some really cool remarks recently that posted them on Instagram? Stephen Platt. Platt does some really nice remarks. Yeah, orange
Cool.
label. There we go. That's the hazard. It's the road work ahead label. Yeah, I think it would be notated like kind of where they do right on the top. It would make the most sense.
Kind of like CBCS has always said like witnessed or verified on their label.
Yeah.
But it took them forever to realize how much people wanted it to be gold label, because remember they used to have red labels for their verified.
Yeah, they
which
did.
was basically just shooting themselves in the foot. Like nobody wanted that.
I have a witness signed original Sienkiewicz page. That's cool. What page, Murray? Like from what book? I actually should be getting my Sienkiewicz. I bought a Sienkiewicz page 2 weeks ago. I should be getting it pretty soon from Heritage.
Did you get a Sienkiewicz page though?
I got a Sankwitz, Bill Sienkiewicz, Sankwitz, Bill Sienkiewicz, Sankwitz. By the way, coming for the AvengerCon, Sankwitz. Oh, let's show them off. Hold on. Are you ready for the next? Are you ready for the next? You guys aren't ready for the next exclusive stickers. Okay, check this out. Sankwitz.
Yeah.
The death metal stickers, and then one that I have not shown off yet. Spider-Man Spawn.
Ooh. That's dope.
These will be available at DaveEngerCon, and then this is going to be a shirt, and then somewhere down the line, this will probably be a shirt too. So
Nice.
yeah, we got coffee mug. You know, I'm going the Spaceballs route. Merchandise. So,
Pizza
that's
Hut.
awesome, Dr. Zero. I have, was that a Denny Cowan Sankiewicz collab, Murray? I think that was, but I'm not 100% sure. We will get, the Spawn Spidey sticker is sick. And Sankiewicz, all of this. Mike's shut up.
Here's a new one, is like all the Todd signed stuff, those exclusives that the recent one, the 350, that can get a gold CGC now.
That's true. I mean, anything can get a gold CGC now. It's all nothing is a prestigious thing anymore.
I know.
These these are just a preview, guys. There will be more. Don't worry. I'm just showing stuff off to get everybody hyped up for DaveEngerCon. So, Dave Con the movie. Are we gonna get a Dave doll? Of course you are. It's gonna have a string that, like, when you pull it says "fuck you," and then, like, when you pull it another time, it farts.
Kiss my ass.
You know, and then the next one will be like the fourth time you pull the string, it'll be like, don't fucking lowball me or buy your comics somewhere else. Oh yeah, the books like these all have certificate of authenticity from McFarlane up there, so but see Todd by Todd shirts at some point. I don't want to saturate the market with too much. How are we doing on time, Matty? I know you've got
I should probably wind down in 5-10 minutes, I would say.
So before we do that, I'm gonna give away two books right now. We're gonna give away an X-Men 200 because it's the FOMO book of the week, and then X-Men 246 Master Mold cover. Put these on the camera down here or over there, and look at all that glare. There we go, no glare. All you got to do is put the hashtag bub in the comments below. Hashtag bub. B-U-B.
Man, this entire live stream, I've been not looking at the comments, and I've been missing out the entire time. Just wanted to say that I'm an idiot.
Well, I posted most of the comments up on the screen. Most,
no,
about
true. I did see most of them.
85%. I'll give these away. All you have to do is win. Habug habug. Yeah, this is Comic Tim's book of the week. Habug habug. We're probably going to be seeing some more of Comic Tim at DaveEngerCon.
Oh, lucky us.
He keeps texting me. He's like, "Hey man," I'm just paraphrasing. He's like, "Hey man, I want to be an Avenger." And that's all he says to me. And he's like, "But I'm not a con artist." And it's like all this weird, like, kind of code talk.
Your impression of Tim it needs a little work, actually.
Does it? All right. What do I need to do?
No, I mean, you just can't. Clearly, you just can't imitate, the man, the myth, the legend.
No, I try not to. He's almost he is untouchable in the imitation zone. But I will send these books to somebody for free, whoever wins, or I can hold them if you think you're going to be in the sale next week. But I'll show you a C-section, bub. That's right. The best line from the entire 2 episodes today. I don't know.
How many episodes do we get of this thing? How many episodes are they doing?
I don't know how many episodes they did this season. I got to imagine I would hope it's more than 10, because, like, you remember when animation seasons would have like 26 episodes?
I know. We didn't know how good we had it.
Really? It is 10? Weak.
Better than like 6 or 8. I mean,
true. Oh, there we go. Comic Tim and Fries Guy Matty. That, I think we should That guy should show up for one of these shows. Fries guy Matty.
What's Fries Guy?
I don't know, a guy that eats fries that wears funny hats.
Okay. I mean, I like French fries. I can work with that. I can work with it.
Well, I
Yeah.
think you're missing the point of the parody is that there's a guy named Fire Guy Ryan.
Oh, see, I had a different take on that, Rit. I was telling Dave his side character should be Flammable Freddy.
Oh, yeah, that's Tim. I'm not Tim. Remember that. You
Oh,
gotta
sorry.
remember
Yeah,
that.
I mean for Tim. Yeah, Flammable Freddy could be his sidekick. I would play the role of Fries Guy or Flammable Freddy. Which one is better, guys? You know, in the chat, let us know because we really take this seriously.
All right, so we'll do a 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna give these away. Hashtag Bub, Uncanny X-Men 200, probably a 9496 copy, and just a copy of 246. All right, 5, 4, 3. Matty, you can enter too if you want. 2.
I didn't join the chat in time.
All right, here we go. Gem Peppermint. I think you're talking about Very Fine Collectibles guy. Hey, Senny won them.
Hey, Senny!
All right.
The scenic
Senny.
one.
Do you remember when what's his name used to call him sexism? What's his name? I can't remember his name. Senny
Commissioner?
doesn't like him anyway. I can't remember. Dude's name was Paul, but I can't remember his seller name.
Sexism.
Sexism. Yeah. I remember when he used to call you sexism. He-Man and Thundercats had like 50 episodes. Exactly. We
Man.
need more Bronze Age Bodhisattva. Yeah, well, he's down in Florida, Bronze Age Bodhisattva, and Bronze Age Bodhisattva and Geeky Female.
I love that cameo. Those cameos.
Does anybody, before we get to wrapping up and all that, does anybody have anything that they want me to ask Chip Zdarsky about? I'm interviewing him on Friday, interviewing Mike Allred next week too. So some star-studded appearances coming up, and then the Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote interview drops on Sunday. Also,
Very excited
Matty,
for all those interviews.
Matty, can you give me a verbal plug for my new podcast, Direct Edition, since you've listened to a bunch of it?
Yes, guys, let me tell you something. It'd be Fire Marshal Bill for this plug. Guys, you've heard of this guy, Dave, right? He's got a direct edition of himself. Basically, if you feel like this is too mediated, this whole experience on YouTube, you got to cut out the chaff, Jack. You got to go direct edition. Okay? So what that means is it's for your ear holes, right? Podcast, baby. Voice only, all the time. Directly into your brain, Dave will be if you listen to him on the Direct Edition podcast. So
you can find the link below. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's got its own YouTube channel. New episode dropped this Monday. It's called This is the Future, Severe and Always Happening. And just think about what that might be about. So
really, it's a great podcast, guys. It's a deep dive on, well, not deep dive, but it just is more, extemporary. No, I can't think of the word. I'm really tired. Did you notice?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's showing a little bit now. But yeah, it's just kind of a little more free form, you could say, different topics, and it's just more Davey content. Who doesn't like more Davey? So
yeah. And it's about much more than just comics. It's about much more than just comics.
Yeah.
Cynicism.
And it also recasts his interviews from YouTube as well. So yeah.
Cynicism. Well, we've been pronouncing it wrong. So it's too mediated.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too mediated, coming from the guy that writes the synopsises for my podcast. Dave SNR. Now, Rit said podcast won't work. You can't see the beard. Well, what if I start off each episode by going like this? You ready? Welcome to Direct Edition. My
That mic is-
podcast about my beard.
Your mic is too effective at like taking out those sounds. I need to hear more scratch. Take that whole filter off and just
Hold on. Let's
go
just
right
turn up
into the fucking wiring. Better. All right, we're gonna work on this. I'm gonna direct your beard rub.
Dave's voice is like the perfect combination of Jesus and Fergie.
100% accurate.
My lovely humps. My lovely lady humps.
Your lovely Davy humps.
Let's get retarded. Ha. Let's get retarded in here. You know, that's the original song name.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing it as such. Uh-oh, you broke the mic. Your beard broke the mic, Davy.
I fixed it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I bought that album when it came out because remember when the Black Eyed Peas were like, they were good. They were like this cool alt hip hop band, and then
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake and Papa Roach, and then all of a sudden they weren't. But
they had like Fred, and then they were just like, let's just take that and just put it right in the toilet. All right, there we go.
Chip has been to Adrian's house, but not long enough for him to put a kiss on him. So I have to ask Chip about the kissing. My beard is too quiet. Make the beard louder. I got to turn my beard up to 11. Not boys only. Comic fans and interested talkers. Females also welcome. Yeah, look, we've got at least one in here, maybe two. Getting turned on with the beard rubbing. Is that weird? Not really. Make the beard scream. Hold on.
Make the beat rock.
Bring that
That's
beat
better.
back. John Otto, ticket to the Matthews Bridge. All right. Anywho, we lost 14 people since I uttered the R word because YouTube probably just canceled me. I was paraphrasing a song. Come on. It's about getting high. It's about being weed smoking hip hoppers in the poppy papin, you know? The hippin' in the hoppin' in the hippin' in the. Yeah. Oh, God. Did we just do a Bill Cosby reference? Oh,
You
God.
know what, the jazz?
Oh, getting canceled tonight for sure.
It's all about, see?
If I ever do a talking figure, it has to speak by pulling the beard. Hello.
Night time.
Us coasting Wow.
That's going in the bit.
Wow. This is gonna be a reel tomorrow. It's just gonna be me saying the R word and then going like this. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, now that I've effectively destroyed my online career, my YouTube show.
Canceled.
What else? What else? Is there anything else we want to talk about? We talked about Madam Web. We talked about X-Men, CGC, DaveNgerCon, Matty's Comics, the word retard, and you never go full retard. Look, it's been proved time and time again. Emma Stone just won an Oscar and she didn't go full. She went half.
Did she go
Maybe a
partial? I
little
didn't see
more.
the movie yet.
You didn't see Poor Things. It was
I still haven't
fantastic.
seen it.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, see, Sean Penn didn't win the Oscar. Forrest Gump won the Oscar.
Yeah, that was
So-
pretty full.
Now
was
it's
a cat.
time. I'm going to open the last two packages I got from you, a comic-gasm, so to speak. Hey,
Mhm.
Mark, you savor those comics. You savor them. Yeah. Oh, is that Lucy?
That's Sammy, actually.
Oh, I missed your cats. I don't see them anymore.
Well, let's see if we can get a little cameo.
Simple Jack. Yeah, you know, that's how you always got the Oscar or get nominated. Exactly. It's an interesting way. We might be cat wrangling right now. So I gave away 2 comics. What else? What else do we want to talk about? What else? What's everybody reading right now? What are you reading, Matty? Did you read anything this week?
Oh, this cat does not like being held.
All right. Well,
What am I reading? I'm
you
reading
got
all
your
this Spider-Man.
sale tomorrow. Plug your sale.
I do have a sale tomorrow. If you guys don't know me, I live over on Instagram. This is just where I hang out with this guy. But Instagram Comic Sales. I have a weekly live claim sale Thursday nights, and tomorrow's a Thursday, so I'll be on. I usually try for 9, but I end up at like 10:30. So place your bets.
So
Where's it gonna
yeah,
fall?
just hang out on Instagram around 6:30, 7 o'clock Pacific time, and then
Yeah,
eventually Matty will go live. That's my
eventually
favorite
I
game
will
to
go
play. My favorite game to play is, should I start watching a movie or just hope that Matty's going to be live soon?
live. Derek, that's a good point. I actually, well, that's another. I don't really have anything to promote right now, but I do have a lot of YouTube videos coming. I have a channel here on YouTube called Comics, and
Mhm.
there are going to be some videos coming. And eventually, I will do some sales on that channel once it gets a little bigger. But yeah, I plan to.
I it's really funny. I talking about Mike, we will do this. Talking about stuff to read. In the last like 3 days, I've read the first Chip Zdarsky Batman arc, Failsafe. I read the first 8 issues of New Burn.
Wow.
I've read so much because I'm trying to like catch up on all my reading so I can make
Oh,
sure
for
that I'm
Zdarsky, right.
yeah, for Zdarsky, and then all read, and with Becky and Tula, like I reread Soma 1 and 2, like right before
Right.
the interview. It's just like I'm trying to make sure that I read the first 4 issues of Avengers Twilight, well, the issues 3 and 4 this week, and like I've been doing a lot of reading. It's tough,
How have you been
you
enjoying
know.
it? Do you
Avengers
enjoy it, or is
Twilight.
it kind of a slog?
No, I enjoy Zdarsky's writing. Um, Zdarsky knows how to keep you kind of entertained. He's versatile in the fact that like Sex Criminals, which he drew and co-created with Matt Fraction, is the funniest comic book I've ever read, and maybe the most poignant. But the stuff he's been writing recently, New Burn is great, hard-boiled detective story. Stillwater is about like a really cool, he writes a lot about aging because
Yeah.
he's probably around my age, in his mid 40s or maybe a little
I
bit older.
I did read some Stillwater. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and Avengers Twilight's been really good. I didn't read
For
All Nighter yet, Adrian, and I still need to read Public Domain. There's so much stuff to read that he's done. His
He's very
Daredevil run was
prolific.
yeah, like his Daredevil run was spectacular. Spider-Man Life Story is probably my favorite Spider-Man book of all time, maybe outside of Spider-Man Blue. Like,
Wow.
as much as we all like Spider-Man as a character, can anybody really name a bunch of Spider-Man stories that are fucking amazing? No,
Mhm.
there's not a
Right.
lot. So
Night Criterion.
all right, John. Talk to you later, brother. I read Before Watchmen. I never read any of the Before Watchmen stuff, but Darwin Cook did some of it, so I probably should. No, I didn't pick up the one per store spawn. I can't with variants, even if they're signed. Matty got one. He offered it to me. And
I
Bryce
did.
bought it, right?
Yep, Bryce bought it. He was a
Yeah.
happy camper. But Davey,
Yeah.
as we said, Davey will find one in a collection in about 5 years.
Exactly.
Maybe 2.
Derek,
Maybe 1.
maybe 2. Derek, I didn't read Canary, but that's a Scott Snyder book, right? I believe. Marsh wants to know,
March.
do you have any pre-hero Marvel Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish, Strange Tales, or Journey into Mystery?
I don't think I have like a couple of odd issues of Suspense and Astonish, I think, that I could probably get ready for tomorrow. The main stuff I have right now, I have some pre-code horror stuff, and I have a little bit of Dave Stevens and a lot of X-Men, and and then just so I think I might sort of go into the indie realm or underground stuff a little bit tomorrow too. So we'll
Cool.
see what I can come up with.
Leon said he just reread 1602, classic Neil Gaiman, Andy Kubert, or Adam Kubert. I like that book. And then Court of Owls was fantastic. Possibly one of the best Batman runs of all time. Was the beginning of Snyder and Capullo's New 52 run. Rit said he's rereading reading the Ultimate Turtles collection, volume 1. I still need to buy the first book. I have the second book that I got in a collection, but I never bought the first book. Derek, I heard it was great. I heard it was really great. I like Scott Snyder's writing, so.
Oh yeah, I just read an indie book this week called Napalm Lullaby. I liked.
I heard that.
think
I heard that was
Rick
really good.
Remender. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting. It's cool
yeah. There's a
dystopian
new.
future.
That's the new Remender. There's a new Ram V, and then I forget the name of that Dark Horse book that came out that I picked up. I can't even remember the name of it because I haven't read it yet.
Right.
So I just. But it was the
Oh,
one
and
that
that
came out
reminds.
last week.
Sorry, one more thing, guys. I'm sort of still populating my website, which is mattyscomics.com, of the new comics from this week. But after this this show, I'm gonna go on there and put up like the ratios of this week that I haven't sold yet, and any of the available comics. So like I have you just mentioned the Rom V Dawn Runner, I think it's called. I have copies of
Okay.
that. They're gonna go up there, and it's 10% off with the code Matty10.
And Marsh, it is MM Comic Sales. You can find the link to his Instagram in the description below. So everybody, if you're not following Matty, his Instagram is below, his website's below. Direct Edition, my podcast links are below. And let's get some follows, let's get some likes. How did I like Newburn? Adam, so I read the first trade. I guess the whole run's gonna be 16 issues. Honestly, like I started reading that book. I didn't know what it was about. 2 pages in, I was hooked. The main character, Easton Newburn, you just want to know what's going on.
Kind of
And
like
if
a
you like
spy
crime stuff,
story, is it? Crime
what'd you say?
spy?
Yeah,
Is it
it's
like a
crime.
spy type of
No, it's more like private detective that he's a private
detective?
detective that works for the mob. And
Gotcha.
yeah,
That's
and
fun.
and Jacob Phillips is the artist, and that's Sean Phillips' son. So if you like, Brubaker and Sean Phillips stuff, then you're going to enjoy Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips stuff.
Very cool.
Rit asked if it's 20% with the code DavesBeard20 at your site.
It is now. Worth a shot.
Yep. Good night, Mark.
Davey,
Yeah,
I'm
Sam
gonna
and
bounce because my eye is melting, so I'm gonna go.
All right,
bounce.
so why don't we just wrap up the show? We'll
Oh, okay.
I'm done talking.
I don't want to cut it short.
No. Sandwich Twitch, I'm excited for that. Promo code Beard Dave. Okay, so like I said, Matty's website's down below in the description. His Instagram's down below in the description. I'll be back selling next week. Matty's selling tomorrow night. Becky Clunan, Tula Lotte interview drops Sunday. Go back and watch my retailer roundtable from this past Sunday. Give it a like, give it a comment, get that algorithm running. And
Excellent interview.
we will close out with the sweet sounds of the promo for DaveEngerCon. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Peace out.